Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm going to be reacting to every F1 driving styles explained. Yeah. I don't know nothing about it, so yeah, let's just... Shall we?
Driving style. Everyone talks about it.
Verstappen, Max Verstappen!
For sure, I have to adapt my driving to it.
But what is it really?
I don't think I actually have one. It's just you adapt to the situation.
Is it the key to a world title, or just the excuses drivers use when they're slow?
Tight once again, it's contact once again!
Yeah, just too many kind of weekends. It was obviously just a bit of a struggle.
Let's break it down.
Okay.
Back in the early days of Formula One, nobody sat around in team meetings debating driving styles. Cars were difficult enough to keep on the road. Heavy steering, unreliable brakes, narrow tires.
The tires kind of look like they could just fall off. I don't know why. I understand that it didn't happen, of course, probably. So at some point. But like, I don't know. They kind of look... I want to say cartoony, but it feels so wrong. To say it. No.
Simply finishing a race was already a challenge, but as technology evolved, engineers and analysts began to notice something. Even when two drivers had the same car, their lap times and tyre usage could vary significantly. The difference wasn't only talent, but the way each driver controlled the car, their approach to braking, steering, and applying throttle. That's when the concept of driving style started to take shape. It became clear that every driver had a natural way of attracting performance. Some went for smooth and precise, focusing on consistency and tyre life. Others favoured a more aggressive and direct approach, braking late, rotating the car sharply, and relying on instinct to catch any slides. Classic examples really show this difference. Prost became known for his smooth
But that makes fun, right?
with a methodical input, maximizing efficiency over a race distance. Senna, on the other hand, was famous for his aggressive commitment, often pushing the car right to the edge of grip.
Senna is trying to go through on the inside, and it's happened immediately.
Schumi combined aggression with precision, building a style around late braking and curb usage, while Button showed how a smoother, tyre-friendly approach could be just as deadly. Today, with advanced telemetry, teams can measure every detail of a driver's input. Steering angle, brake pressure, throttle modulation, everything. This data confirms what everyone had been noticing for decades. Driving styles aren't just personality quirks, they're real, measurable ways drivers perform. From this analysis, you could see four main styles that pretty much cover every driver on the grid. Let's begin with smooth oversteer. At first glance, this style can look calm, maybe even too cautious, as if the driver isn't really pushing, but the lap times tell a different story.
Sergio Perez from pole position, Stroll crosses the line, and he does go pole, 1:47.7.
It's not about forcing the car to do what you want, but about guiding it with precision, finding lap time without wasting energy, making tiny corrections, or burning through the tyres. To really get it though, we need to break down what the name actually means. Oversteer happens when the rear of the car rotates more than the front, making the back want to snap. It's the classic moment when you see a car slide. Well, maybe not that much. And then comes the smooth part.
Smooth operator.
Here, the driver doesn't let that slide get messy. Instead, they manage it gently, keeping the car right on the edge of grip without snapping sideways. Think of it as a whisper, not a shout. Now, how do you make that happen? It's all in the racing line. Imagine it as the path you draw through a corner, and like handwriting, everyone's got their own signature. The U line is flowing. Brake a touch earlier, arc it round, exit clean. The V line is sharper. Brake late, snap the car at the apex, and launch out. Of course, reality isn't that simple. No driver sticks to just one shape every lap. Lando, for example, is more of a V-shaped line driver, but his control and ability to adapt to changing conditions make him pretty neutral when it comes to cornering.
Norris round the outside at turn 4, late braking.
That's a huge advantage at tracks like Suzuka or Silverstone, where long, flowing corners reward stability. What does this give them? Better tyre management. By avoiding aggressive slides, drivers keep heat and wear in check, so their performance lasts longer during a stint. But here's the downside. Looking calm can look timid.
We're not going for fastest. Why not? So Lewis will have a free stop at the end. So you need to let Lewis buy into turn 13.
Valtteri Bottas has just let Lewis Hamilton pass.
That's why Bottas, despite being lightning in qualifying, has often been criticised for lacking sharpness in combat.
My word, huge lockup. Valtteri Bottas off the road. That is clumsy stuff, but great action for the 30,000.
That's worse than spinning in the pit lane. Still, in the
I haven't seen like Bottas really driving. When I started to watch F1, he was already gone, but I know him kind of a little bit about him. But like, yeah, I know he will come back next year, so let's go.
bigger picture, smooth oversteer remains one of the most effective philosophies in modern F1, just not quite as much as smooth understeer. See, oversteer is when the
Now I just can't hear like smooth operator. Operator was, right?
rear wants to swing out. Understeer is the opposite problem.
I'm looking, fronts everywhere, something's wrong.
It's when you turn the wheel but the front doesn't respond as much as you want. Some say it doesn't matter, but in reality, understeer is way worse, because when the car washes wide, you're forced onto the dirty part of the track, and from there, well, you know what happens.
There's a red flag, and you can see the damage that has been done there as Alex Albon hits the barriers.
In the right
that was
hands,
bad.
it could feel like a cheat code. Handled properly, it gives stability and traction. Two things every driver dreams of on street circuits where blasting out of tight corners decides everything. Think of Monaco, Singapore, or Baku. And you know who's conquered all of them?
Sergio Perez wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Streets of Singapore wins the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix.
Against all odds, my guy was even able to tame Max. That's how Sergio earned the nickname King of the Streets. And the fact that he's done it over and over again proves it's no accident. So how does this style actually work? Let's break a corner down again. Smooth
So this is his style.
understeer drivers usually brake earlier, keeping the car calm and avoiding lockups. Mid-corner, they might look slower because the front doesn't rotate sharply. But on exit, they hit the throttle sooner thanks to a stable rear. And nobody does that better than the Mexican. Growing up, he raced on worn-out second-hand tyres with barely any grip. It forced him to master the art of smooth inputs and precise throttle. On the same spectrum, but in his own way, there's Sir Lewis. Hamilton thrives on the edge. Back in karting, his dad pushed him to brake later and later until it became instinct. And at the top level, that habit turned into his trademark move, trail braking. He dives in deep, hitting the brakes harder and later than almost anyone, then bleeding off pressure as he turns to load the front tyres and rotate the rear. But here's the problem. Trail braking only shines when the car gives confidence. And that's exactly what this generation of ground effect cars took away. The W13 and W14 bounced like crazy with porpoising. The rear would snap loose and they just wouldn't turn in on entry. The very same style that once crowned him as king is now sinking him as a man.
Oh, that's so frustrating. It was so late in the corner as the load had...
I'm just useless.
So say again?
I'm just
This was painful.
useless.
Where have we seen this movie before?
Back straight, Ricciardo goes for it from a long way back. Going, and Sebastian Vettel is gone. Maybe was going to go around the outside, down the inside.
Round the outside, round the outside. Sorry.
Goes Daniel Ricciardo.
The honey badger. What can I even say? Since his smile left the grid, something's been missing. And I mean, everyone remembers his struggles at McLaren and V-Car. But fewer remember why. The answer is simple. Lack of adaptation.
They are going to touch, and Sonoda in the Alpha Tauri.
Ricciardo succeeded when the car let him attack.
Covers it off, but he can't cover it off totally. Ricciardo somehow finds a gap there.
When it didn't, his whole style collapsed. Because Daniel is the definition of an aggressive oversteer driver. Imagine this driving style as a teenager who just discovered energy drinks. It's loud, it's reckless, just like Verstappen.
The fight back to second place, or does it? Around the outside and nearly dropping the car. Max Verstappen went all in to take P2.
And when it works, pure spectacle. Here, the driver forces it. They hurl the car into the corner, brake later than what common sense allows, and count on the rear stepping out to help them pivot. Instead of flowing U-lines, these guys live on the sharp V. Slam the brakes, snap the car at the apex, and punch the throttle like it owes them money. It's messy, but when controlled, it's lightning. This is the style that shines in qualifying. 1 lap, maximum commitment, 0 margin for error. And there's one person that shows up in your mind when you think about poles.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
That's right, Mr. Percival Leclerc. Watch him around Baku or Monaco and you'll see it instantly. He dives in, flicks the car, and then it's a ballet of micro corrections as the rear tiptoes along the limit. The poles look unreal. Until sometimes the wall shows up to say hi.
Miles out.
Still, there's a
Yeah, it was just the wall. The wall just came up and say hi.
ton of drivers that like this style. This isn't new. Senna made his legend by throwing cars into corners with ridiculous faith. Schumacher doubled down. Late brakes, huge curb hops. Car dancing, but somehow faster than anyone else. Today, you see that DNA in several drivers, and for a good reason. The highs are insane.
Masterful lap from Max Verstappen. He delivers under pressure. Back-to-back pole positions in Formula One.
Pole laps, dive bombs, onboards, fans, replay on loop. However, it does have its lows. Worn tyres, lost consistency, and the occasional DNF.
Charles Leclerc into the barriers at turn 15 to bring out the red flag.
At the end of the day, it's the gambler's way. The daredevil, if you will. Trade safety for speed, patience for chaos. And sure, it doesn't always win the long game, but when it hits, it's...
You know what that is? Simply lovely.
On the other hand, we have understeer. Aggressive understeer sounds like an oxymoron. How can you be aggressive when the car literally doesn't want to turn? Well, that's exactly what makes it fascinating. Understeer means the front tires give up first. You crank the wheel, but the nose just wants to slide wide. It feels like being a passenger while the car just ignores you. But the aggressive understeer crew, they dive in anyway, trail the brakes deep, and then wrestle the car into submission. And nobody does this better than Fernando Alonso. He spent half his career dragging uncooperative cars into places they had no right to be. Watch his
so true.
on boards and you'll see constant micro adjustments, little flicks, little nudges, as if he's whispering, "Vamos, just turn a little bit more." Kevin Magnussen has a completely different approach. Heavy braking, overcommitment, muscling the car around whether it wants to or not. Why even bother? Because sometimes this style is the only way to make a bad car drivable. Of course, the price is steep. Consistency vanishes. One lap it works. The next is like turning a shopping trolley with a locked wheel. And it drains the driver too, mentally and physically.
Fernando, do you think we should do a new set of inters or wets? New inters or wets?
I think we should go to the garage.
However, this is nothing new. Other names dip their toes here. Nigel Mansell back in the day forced cars into obedience with pure grit. Aggressive understeer is hilarious because it can look either heroic or hopeless. In one car, Alonso's bending physics to his will. The next looks like he's just barely making it stick. In the end, it completes the set of driving philosophies. F1 isn't just about who has the best car. It's about how drivers fight their car. Every style reflects a different way of attacking the same problem. How to get a car through a corner as fast as possible. And maybe that's the beauty of it.
Down the inside on Nico Hulkenberg. Ocon might lose out to Fernando Alonso. Hamilton makes up places ahead of Hulkenberg, ahead of Alonso, and then comes the Force India.
Some guide the car gently, some muscle it round, and some send it into corners with all the subtlety of a wrecking ball.
Down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. What a move from the Australian. He's picked up a couple of places in one corner.
Whether it's Alonso finessing an ugly but effective style, Lando flexing his versatility, the king of the streets whispering sweet nothings into his tyres' ears, Max snapping the car around the apex, or Button making the cleanest moves possible. There's no one true driving style. If you're a nerd like me and enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, make sure to watch this other interesting video I've made for you. And as
First of all, you need to know your car. And then I think you need to think what style are you driving on today. I wish when I was watching like F1, I noticed that of course they are driving differently, but I didn't think. I didn't think like there is so many different points. I just thought that they are driving how they can and where is the spot. I don't know. I'm sounding kind of dumb, but I'm not a driver, not like that. So yeah, sorry. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you have, other suggestions, please leave them in my Discord server, and hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Take care. Bye.